Mr. Rivera.
The competitive advantage is that there's a lot of land to be developed, and we can do better with it. We can increase the hotels here, so that way people don't need to go to another town to stay in a hotel. The disadvantage is that the population, the majority of the population is been here for so long that they don't want the drastic change in the transit in the areas that is home, and also we got the lakefront and stuff, so they don't want that change. So that's a disadvantage on how to play the change of the land from growing to the ones that are already here. You gotta work that very slowly and smart.
Thank you, Mr. Urban.
So Mr. Martinez made a great point in that last answer. St. Cloud's primary economic advantage is our location here in Central Florida, bringing jobs to our region. Our primary disadvantage is too much pressure for residential growth. Let's get calls every day from residential developers trying to develop your property. So what we need to be doing is incentivizing commercial growth and disincentivizing residential growth. Part of the issue is a joint planning agreement with Osceola County. I think that we need to work with them and the county leaders in order to work with that. And no, I don't consider apartments commercial. We need real commercial growth here in St. Cloud to help balance out our spot in the region.
Mr. Lang.
Yeah. So I do believe that as Mr. Urban said, one of our biggest advantages is the location. But also one of our biggest advantages is that we have room to grow. We have space to grow, but we need to make sure that we grow in the right way. And that's probably our biggest disadvantage, is that over the last several years, we have not been growing in a responsible way. We have not been having a balance of the commercial and the residential, but also along with institutional and civic and parks and things like that, and schools. I mean, there's no reason why we can't start to integrate those things into our neighborhoods. And so I really think that as an advantage, we need to look to the future, and we need to say, hey, we haven't been doing it right. Let's change things. Let's start moving in the right direction. And if we do that, I think that we can be extremely successful here in St. Cloud.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez.
I got along with what Kobe said. I mean, Daniel, again, we are strategically located. We got Lake Nona on one side. We got the International Airport, Orlando International Airport on one side. We're just so close to it. But what are we doing with the land that we have here, right? We need to keep stopping a little bit, put a little bit of pause on so many residential buildings. Let's focus on commercial. But more than that, can we market St. Cloud as a commercial-friendly community, right? Where we can bring more businesses in. I mean, I came here because I was most likely going to raise here. But there's a lot of businesses out there that can come here, see how strategically located we are, right? And say, hey, this is where we want to have a business, right? But every time they want to do a business, they see a whole bunch of houses being built. Where would we be able to have that type of business being built? Mr. Victor said, even myself, if I want to grow right now, where would I go? Really, where would I go? If I had to add 20 more parking lot, what would I do? If I had to add 20 more people in my office, where would I go? Lake Nona, they have pretty good facility there. Guess what? We don't have it here. So I think what we need to do is bring it here. Well, let's see real quick.
Mr. Mayfield.
Really.
I think the economic advantage, if you're comparing St. Cloud to Orlando, we have a lower retail vacancy rate and we have a higher asking price per square footage on retail. So we have demand, we have scarcity, but we also have demand. And I think with more commercial space, with more development on that side, even with all the land we have, instead of looking at 30 acres for 300 home sites, look at 30 acres to be pad ready for something commercial. I think we have the space to do it. I think the revitalization of downtown is proof that we can support high-end goods and services, because I like lamb and craft beer and cigars. I like all that stuff, and I'm glad it's right here, close to my house. I think St. Cloud geographically has been a little bit boxed in, so it sort of has lent itself to the type of development that we've seen, and that is what has attracted a lot of the, especially the production development that we've seen. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just we've sort of maxed it out to where we can look at those sites for other development.
Thank you, sir. How about these answers?